Hello YouTube, and welcome to D&D Daily. My name is Sage. Today I'm going to be doing kind of a different video. This video is going to be talking from the perspective of being a DM. I expect that this video won't do as well as our player-focused videos because it's kind of a DM-focused video, but I actually encourage players to watch this video to try and understand what it feels like to be in the DM seat a bit. The more you be a DM, the more developed as a DM you become, and you have different experiences. Being a DM, my last session was very different than my first session. And I've kind of recently come to this place that I wanted to talk about, and that place is having a personal desire as Sage. Sage didn't want Marcus's, one of my players' brains to be eaten by a mind flayer. I didn't want that to happen. However, I also have a duty to the mind flayer, a duty that the mind flayer is real, and I'm going to make it real, and the mind flayer is going to act the way it's going to act, and if it has someone grappled and has them isolated, it's going to try and eat their brain. And even though I didn't want my character to die, I had to be true to the mind flayer. So it puts the DM in this interesting perspective where you want something to happen, but you're being true to the monsters and the dice. And what's really unique about that is it puts you in the same place as your players, where there's anticipation. There's like, ooh, there's nervousness, there's excitement, because you don't know what's going to happen any more than they do. You're just letting the game be directed by the chances and by the creatures and by the world you've built. You respect it enough to let bad things happen. And luckily that he was able to tank the mind flayer's damage. It rolled fairly low, so it was only like 48 damage. Instead of, the potentially lethal damage. And it was just a really enlightening moment for me to have that same amount of stress and anxiety that I was giving to my players, and I thought that was pretty cool. Do I feel like every DM needs to do this? No, not necessarily, but I do feel like it's more rewarding to play in that way than it was to play in the other way, in my humble opinion. And so I think as a player, it's very important to also respect the monsters and respect the dice, and not make it about your DM. Your DM's not killing you, it's the mind flayer. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have wanted him to die, but it's not up to me. The mind flayer is the one that had him in his grasps. And I think it's just something that, as a player, be careful, because if your character dies, it's easy to blame the DM, and there are situations where that could be true, but there's also situations where that could be toxic behavior, directing it towards your DM as if it's their fault. So I would just encourage players to show the same amount of respect that hopefully your DM is to the monsters. They are dangerous and they are trying to kill you. Respect that. Avoid the combat if you can. Fight them to the best tactical advantage that you can. Respect it. Anyways, just some thoughts I've been having, wanted to share with the community. Let me know what you guys think about what I just told you in the comments down below. We are D&D Daily. We release new D&D content every freaking day. Every day! So if that's interesting to you, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you tomorrow. See you later and have a good one.